Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your boy Willy Does Wrestling back at it again with a brand new video. And in this video, I am going to present my very own first annual 2023 Willy Awards. I know it sounds a little weird. There's a little trophy. It's a Willy. And essentially, we're going to award, due to my personal opinion, I didn't really want to set up any polls or anything. I am going to go through a bunch of categories and I'm going to award those that I see fit. So these are my personal opinions. I would love to hear yours. I'm going to try to be as quick as possible. I know it's a little late. We are 4 days into 2024, but we still need to revisit this year. And considering the fact that my internet sucked and I couldn't make it the whole way through last week in wrestling's award show, I'm going to present my very own. So, without further ado, let's get right into the Willies. First one I have here, Best Match of the Year. And these apply to both WWE and AEW. So, best match for WWE, I'm going to give to Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 39. All three were hard hitters. All three killed it. There were multiple times where I thought Sheamus was going to become a Grand Slam champion. These three tore the house down. They're very good talents, very good international talents. They all performed at a big stage like WrestleMania. I loved it. And then Gunther won. It was probably the best match of the year and of all of WrestleMania, which really made Gunther even more of a star. AEW, I'm going to have to give it to MJF versus Bryan Danielson at Revolution. And I know a lot of people probably would want me to say Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega, which is definitely a contender. But since I want to go more actual AEW matches, I'm going to give it to MJF versus Bryan Danielson, 60-minute Iron Man match. Two of the best wrestlers of our generation. MJF going through an absolute war in order to keep the Triple B against the best wrestler in the world, in my opinion, Bryan Danielson. So, yeah, best match of the year awards go to, for WWE, it will be Gunther, McIntyre, Sheamus. And for AEW, it goes to MJF versus Bryan Danielson at Revolution. Now we go on to worst match of the year. And boy, do I love giving out worst awards. Worst match in WWE has to go to The Miz versus Snoop Dogg / Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 39. If you didn't see me give the worst match of every WWE pay-per-view in 2023 video, I suggest you go check that out. I went in on this match. It shouldn't have happened. Miz already wrestled the night before. Shane McMahon had no business being in the ring at a WrestleMania, especially in 2023. And then I don't know if it was planned or not, but like the ref was saying to Snoop Dogg, go ahead, drop the shittiest people's elbow that I've ever seen and beat The Miz, former two-time Grand Slam champion. What the fuck was that? So that has to be my worst WWE match of 2023. Worst match for AEW? Oh, I'm going to give it to Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho at Double or Nothing just for the finish. I hated that. Sabu was supposed to be the special guest enforcer, and he was only there for 2 minutes. And then, especially the finish. The finish is the main reason why this is on here. With, I think, Adam Cole dropping the shittiest elbows with a chain wrapped around his arm. And then fucking stupid ass referee Aubrey Edwards, the worst referee I've ever fucking seen, called off the match. Oh my god, it's too brutal. It's an unsanctioned match. No fucking DQ. And Jericho got right back up. Like, okay. So, worst matches. WWE goes to The Miz versus Snoop Dogg / Shane McMahon. AEW goes to Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho. Male Wrestler of the Year. This is going to be easy. This is probably going to be the easiest one. WWE, I'm giving it to Gunther. He's been an amazing Intercontinental Champion. He's made the IC title even more prestigious. Like, what is there not to love? He's had banger matches. Drew McIntyre, Matt Riddle, Mustafa Ali, even of all people, Chad Gable on multiple occasions. Like, Gunther is killing it. Bronson Reed, Tommaso Ciampa, like, Gunther is amazing. And I am going to say very firmly, I do believe he could very well be world champion by the end of this year. I'll go on a whim and say that, whether it is the world heavyweight or maybe even the undisputed universal. I could see Gunther dethrone Cody. If Gunther gets traded in the draft, you never know. Male wrestler for AEW, I'm going to give it to MJF. MJF, turned fans into believers. His storylines have been great. His matches have been great. Better Than You, Baby was an amazing program. I didn't like the way he lost the AEW World Championship at World's End, but given his injuries, I do kind of understand. But he killed it this year. And a lot of people are thinking he's not re-signed to AEW and going to WWE. Let's just pull that from under the rug right now. He is definitely re-signed, and he is staying with AEW. And I hope that MJF kills it in this Adam Cole storyline when both MJF and Adam Cole get better. So, WWE male wrestler goes to Gunther. AEW male wrestler goes to Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Oh, worst male wrestler of the year. Okay, this is going to be hard. Worst male wrestler of the year. You know what? People are going to hate me for this. Well, maybe not, actually. WWE worst male wrestler. I'm going to give it... excuse me. I'm going to give it to Gable Steveson, who only had one match. It was NXT Great American Bash. He faced Baron Corbin, and Gable Steveson was signed to WWE for 3 years. Okay, he was signed to WWE for 3 years, and he didn't have one match. He barely appeared on TV, and then during the summer, he appeared on NXT. Like, okay, he feuded with Baron Corbin. These motherfuckers booed Gable Steveson. And Gable Steveson was not good in the ring. He was trying to be the most discount Kurt Angle I have ever seen because me won gold medal. I never understood the hype for Gable Steveson. I never will. And to make matters worse, the match with Baron Corbin ended by double countout, and we never seen Gable Steveson in a WWE ring again. That was how bad that match was. I don't know who the fuck decided to make it a double countout, but you weren't helping Gable Stevenson's case at all at that point. You know what I mean? So, worst WWE male wrestler goes to Gable Steveson. AEW. I don't know. I don't know who to give worst male wrestler to. There might be a few options. Yeah, this is going to be a hard one. I have no clue who to give worst male wrestler to. I really don't know. This is going to take some thinking, I think. I'm going to give it to Kip Sapien. Kip Sapien from AEW. And listen, I know he might probably have had a couple of matches on Rampage that were like very good. But he's the first one that really comes to my head because last year he was supposed to be built as this next big thing. When AEW first started, he was getting a lot of TV time, especially with Penelope Ford and Miro. Does anyone know where Penelope Ford is? Like, is she gone? Like, can someone answer that for me? Um, and now he's just a guy. Like, he's just there. Uh, I think I saw this morning on Rampage. I think he's teaming up with the Butcher and the Blade, which is like two more people that I think are very underutilized in AEW. I couldn't really think of any like bad wrestlers, and I don't think Kip Sapien is a bad wrestler either per se, but his booking is god awful. So sorry, Kip Sapien. I'm giving him worst wrestler of 2023 for the men in AEW. So worst male wrestlers go to Gable Steveson for WWE, Kip Sabian for AEW. Female wrestler of the year. Everyone might be expecting me to give it to Rhea Ripley. Fuck you. No, I'm not. Best female wrestler of the year for WWE goes to Io Sky. I don't care what anybody says. Io Sky went from a lackey in Damage Control to WWE Women's Champion. She had such a historic rise this year. And then Damage Control also got very dominant this past year, which I'm very happy with. Io Sky, I think is very much deserved. She's an amazing wrestler. She had amazing title defenses. Sure, the booking of her title reign could be a little better, but she's on TV a lot. Damage Control's on TV a lot, and hopefully by the end of 2024, we could see Io Sky go on her own. I would love to see at WrestleMania Io Sky versus Bayley for the Women's Championship. I'm praying Bayley wins the Royal Rumble. But my pick for female wrestler of the WWE goes to Io Sky. Female wrestler for AEW, not really a lot of options, but I'm going to give it to Toni Storm. Toni Storm evolved. She broke out of the Outcast. She won the women's title twice, and she's the current women's champion as of this recording. She reinvented herself. She broke out of the Outcast and became this timeless Toni Storm gimmick, which is amazing. Making very good TV. She's with Luther and what's her fucking name? Mariah May, I think her name is. Toni Storm is getting a lot of focus on TV, making decent title defenses here and there as well. Toni Storm, yeah, I gotta say she's been killing it this year for AEW, and yeah, I guess by default I gotta give the Willy for best female wrestler of the year to her. So that means Io Sky won female wrestler for WWE. Toni Storm won it for AEW. Then we move on to worst female wrestler of the year. WWE goes to Ronda fucking Rousey. She was horrible this year. She did jack shit, okay? Sure, her and Shayna Baszler won the Women's Showcase at WrestleMania. And then the main reason why I'm putting Ronda Rousey as worst women's wrestler of the year is because you could tell this year, because this was like the last stretch of her second WWE run, you could tell she didn't care. And that MMA rules match with Shayna Baszler at SummerSlam was the icing on the cake. That match sucked. And you could tell Shayna Baszler tried, man. Ronda Rousey, it looked like she didn't even try. It was like she was sick and tired of everything. She let the fans' opinions of her get to her too much. And yeah, I think out of everybody, I have to give it to Ronda Rousey. I'm sorry, but she's got to go to worst wrestler in WWE. Worst female wrestler in AEW. Who do I give this to? Because there's a decent amount of options. I'm going to give it to Marina Shafir. Where the fuck has she been? And it's funny because Marina Shafir used to be a lackey for Shayna Baszler. Like, she's just there. And she's not that very good in the ring either. Terrible at promos. I mean, by default, I'm going to probably just give Marina Shafir the Worst Woman Award every year. I know a lot of people might have also expected me to give this to Saraya, which, no, I wouldn't give that to Saraya. I'm going to give it to Marina Shafir by default. So, Worst Female Wrestler, WWE goes to Ronda Rousey. AEW goes to Marina Shafir. And then we go to Best Tag Team of the Year. This is hard for WWE. I know they're not a team anymore, but rest in peace to the Usos tag team run. I'm going to give it still to the Usos. They killed it this year. The Bloodline storyline killed it this year. They had an amazing match with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at SummerSlam, and then the icing on the at WrestleMania, sorry, and then the icing of the cake, Money in the Bank, when the Usos, specifically Jay, pinned Roman Reigns in the middle of the ring. Their Bloodline Civil War match was brilliant. I know I could have also gave it to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who did jack shit in their reign. The Judgment Day, Priest and Balor, no, I wouldn't count that as a tag team. So by default, I'm going to give it to the Usos. AEW is very easy. I'm giving it to FTR. They had amazing matches in 2023. AEW Tag Team Champions. My favorite tag team match of the year would actually go to FTR versus Bullet Club Gold that one day on Collision, where they went on for an hour. They absolutely killed it. Dax and Cash are amazing wrestlers. They signed a 5-year contract extension, which they said after that they will both retire from professional wrestling, which means they're retiring in AEW, which I absolutely love. FTR are amazing wrestlers, and I am so happy that they are getting the respect they deserve in AEW finally. So FTR wins Tag Team of the Year for AEW. So, Tag Team of the Year, WWE goes to the Usos, AEW goes to FTR. Worst Tag Team of the Year. Oh, what? Worst Tag Team of the Year? Oh, who the fuck do I give this to? I'm going to give it to Sangha and Veer Mahan of Indus. Sorry, Veer. They were built up after the WWE draft, and they had a few squash matches, but what have they done now? Jinder Mahal came back this past week on Raw. Where the fuck did Veer and Sangha go? I don't know. I don't know what happened to them, and it seems like they don't got anything for them. They shouldn't have been called up. They should have stayed in NXT. I'm going to give Worst Tag Team of WWE to Veer and Sangha. Worst Tag Team for AEW, I'm giving it to Butcher and Blade, mainly because they haven't been focused. And it's a shame because they were very good in their start in AEW. Now they're just jobbers, and they are Rampage regulars. It doesn't make any sense to me that Butcher and Blade haven't gotten any focus. So, I don't really have anything to say about Butcher and Blade. So, worst tag team, WWE goes to Indus. AEW goes to Butcher and Blade. And I know a lot of Butcher and Blade fans are going to hate me for that. Overrated Wrestler of the Year. WWE. Rhea fucking Ripley will be my overrated wrestler of the year because everyone's saying she's so great. She's the women's world champion. Oh my God, she can do no wrong. What do you mean? She was so focused on the male shit and the Judgment Day shit for the first, like, 6-7 months of her women's title reign. And I get it, she's defending it more and more now. But you took too damn long to have the women's world title have focus. And then you book her to be this dominant woman that nobody gives a fuck about anymore. I do not care. She is so overrated, especially on Twitter. I have to give this award to Rhea Ripley. I know I could also give it to Roman Reigns. But out of the two of them, Rhea Ripley's on there every week. There was no excuse for her to never fucking defend that world title. I'm going to give it to Rhea Ripley. Most overrated in AEW. I'm going to give it to one Kenny Omega. Okay, I get it. Okay. Not every Kenny Omega match needs to be a 5-star match. This is mainly directed to Dave Meltzer. Like, Kenny's a good wrestler, don't get me wrong, but does he deserve all this praise? You know, okay, Omega and Ospreay was good. Okay? But not every match that he was in 2023 was that good. Why the fuck does Kenny Omega just get sucked off every single time he's in a match? I will never understand. Like, does Kenny Omega have, like, give me big match ratings falling from the sky? Does he just have powers? I just want to know. Like, I don't hate Kenny Omega by any means, but I just don't understand it. So, most overrated. WWE goes to Rhea Ripley. AEW goes to Kenny Omega. Underrated wrestler of the year. WWE. I gotta give it to my man Chad Gable. He should have beaten Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. But he didn't. And that's fine, because hopefully 2024 can be the year of Chad Gable. He had banger upon banger after banger. But it seems like he's probably not going for the Intercontinental Championship anytime soon, which is a shame. But Chad Gable can kill it, and I really hope he does. So Chad Gable is my pick for most underrated for WWE. Underrated in AEW has to go to Daniel Garcia. And I know he's getting some focus now, and that's good. But Daniel Garcia should win gold in 2024. The the Continental Crown Championship, the TNT, or the International. I don't care which one it is. I don't think he's ready for the world title yet, but if Daniel Garcia can win gold at some point in AEW in 2024, that will be great. He got amazingly over with that dance of his. He's an amazing wrestler. His one match with Brody King in the Continental Classic made me fall in love with Daniel Garcia. So I'm going to, I think most underrated in 2023 goes to Daniel Garcia. So, most underrated recap. We got WWE, Chad Gable, AEW, Daniel Garcia. Most improved of the year. Most improved in WWE goes to Dominic Mysterio. Even though the Judgment Day had a shit ton of focus in 2023, Dominic Mysterio killed it. There was even 1 week in 2023 where he main evented Raw, NXT, and SmackDown all in 1 week. Dominic Mysterio also won the NXT North American Championship 2 times. He's had an amazing feud with Rey Mysterio. Great matches with Rey as well as Dragon Lee. Main eventing multiple Raws, but I think it's just because of the Judgment Day. And Dominic got way better on the mic. He is a heel genius. He is amazing. So Dominic, he deserves the most improved wrestler in WWE. For AEW, I'm definitely giving it to Swerve Strickland. He became a main event level competitor in 2023, especially with his feud with Hangman Adam Page. The last 2 matches that they had, it seems like we're getting a third pretty soon because of last night's Dynamite, which I think is absolutely fine. Swerve Strickland got amazingly over as well with that amazing theme song. And of course, you got Prince Nana and his little dance. It seems like all you got to do to get over in AEW is have a dance. But Swerve is an amazing wrestler, and I am so glad that he is getting the focus that he deserves. WWE fumbled him badly, but in AEW, Swerve is getting love. And 2023 was definitely his year. So, most improved, WWE goes to Dominic. And AEW goes to Swerve. Best moment of the year, WWE. I have to address the elephant in the room. CM Punk's return at Survivor Series. I did not think in a million fucking years that CM Punk would be back in WWE. And I am so happy that he is. Okay? This should be CM Punk's last chance. Okay? But even if I still hated Punk, even if I didn't separate the art from the artist, that moment at Survivor Series, that pop was amazing. 10 years in the making. 10 years that CM Punk was gone in WWE. It was like a dream, You never thought it would happen, but it did. And that was absolutely crazy. I can't wait for CM Punk versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Best moment in AEW. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what the best moment in AEW was. I'm going to say the best moment, in my opinion, was the Devil's reveal at World's End. It's very recent, I know, but I'm personally biased. Adam Cole turning heel on MJF. And I've said this for months, that the Undisputed Kingdom will become a thing. And then last night on Dynamite it did. We got Wardlow, we got Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, and Roderick Strong. Hopefully Kyle O'Reilly when he gets better. This faction's going to be amazing, okay? I loved Better Than You, Baby, but that heel turn was amazing. Adam Cole getting revealed as the Devil should be my best AEW moment in 2023. So, best moment, again, goes to CM Punk's return and the Devil's reveal. Best pay-per-view of the year, it's got to go to WrestleMania Night 1 for WWE. I loved WrestleMania Night 1. I loved all the matches. I think the only matches that I didn't like was John Cena versus Austin Theory. I think that's the only match that I didn't like. The men's showcase was a dark horse match. It was amazing. We also had main event, Sami and Kevin versus the Usos. We had Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, which was actually a good match. I just wish Rhea's reign was a little better, but hey, that's a story for another day. Oh, I'm trying to remember. We had Ray versus Dominic. We had a lot of amazing banger matches. Yeah, WrestleMania Night 1 has got to be my pick. Best pay-per-view for AEW, it's got to go to All In. I'm going to say All In is my pick for best AEW pay-per-view. The crowd was electric. The card was actually pretty good. We had CM Punk versus Samoa Joe, Adam Cole versus MJF, Will Ospreay versus Chris Jericho, which actually was a decent match. FTR and the Young Bucks. Oh, it was amazing. There was a lot of amazing matches. We had Sting and Darby Allin versus Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage in a coffin match. Amazing stuff. And that crowd was electric the entire night. And I'm so happy that I got to watch it live. And that was the only AEW pay-per-view I've ever paid for. Was All In. And I was very proud with that pay-per-view. So, AEW pay-per-view of the year goes to All In. So, pay-per-view of the year, WWE, WrestleMania Night 1, AEW, All In. Worst pay-per-view of the year. Oh. The worst pay-per-view for WWE? Oh, I thought like all the pay-per-views kind of killed it in my opinion. But if I were to pick one, I don't know. What would be the worst pay-per-view for WWE? Oh, I know. WrestleMania Night 2. I'm going to give it a WrestleMania Night 2. And listen. I know this was the night where Gunther, McIntyre, and Sheamus had their match. but that was the only saving grace. Finn Balor getting injured, Miz versus Snoop Dogg, the fucking horrible booking on the main event by having Cody Rhodes lose and having us have to undergo another year of Roman's terrible reign. The women's showcase sucked, my personal opinion. Brock versus Omos didn't need to exist. There was a lot of horrible booking for this pay-per-view, and you could tell Vince McMahon booked it. It was almost like there was like a compromise where Hunter books night 1, Vince books night 2. It was very obvious. So worst pay-per-view WWE for WWE is WrestleMania night 2. I almost skipped AEW. AEW, it's definitely Double or Nothing. The overbooked. I think every match sucked besides the Battle Royal for the International title, the Fatal 4-Way for the AEW World title, and that's it. I didn't like the Anarchy in the Arena. I didn't like Wardlow versus Christian in the ladder match. I thought Arn Anderson being in the ring was absolutely horrific. I hated that Jade Cargill's undefeated streak ended by an impromptu 2-minute match with Chris Statlander. I felt like that was absolutely terrible. And the finish of Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho, which I mentioned earlier. Wild Thing playing for 10 minutes in the Anarchy in the Arena match made me hate that fucking song, and I used to love that song. Double or Nothing has to be my pick for worst AEW pay-per-view. In my opinion, we're going to give our last couple of categories. We're going to go promo of the year. Promo of the year for WWE, I am going to give it to the Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman promo on Raw in February, I think it was. It was the build to, like, after Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble, Paul Heyman came out being like, hey, you're going to be in the ring with Roman Reigns. They had a very emotional promo about Dusty Rhodes, and I know that it's like a meme where Cody Rhodes, like, his only promos were about Dusty Rhodes. But this one with Paul Heyman was amazing. They were sharing stories of, like, Dusty being homeless, and then ECW brought Dusty in, and they gave them the money that they needed, and Cody was like, thank you, Paul, for helping my dad. And then Paul, being the heel genius, was like, my last conversation with your dad, he said that you were his favorite son, but Roman Reigns was the son that he always wanted. And the crowd booed the shit out of Paul. It was an amazing promo. AEW promo of the year, I'm going to have to give it to MJF's promo on Birdie during the build to the Bryan Danielson match at All In. Man, MJF was an amazing heel when he mentioned Birdie. And then, of course, at the end of the promo, which also gave me bonus points, was when Bryan Danielson said, you are going to get your fucking head kicked in. These two had an amazing feud, which led to an amazing match. I have to give it to that. I think the runner-up would have to be Christian Cage talking to Nick Wayne about his father. But then again, that's just because I love my king, Christian Cage. So, best promo, I'm going to give it to, I think I gave it to Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman for WWE. And then MJF about Birdie to AEW. Then we got Best Faction. In WWE, by default, I have to give it to the Judgment Day. Yay! They all held gold, which means you're a dominant faction. They main evented every Raw. No other good factions, unless I give it to Damage Control, but I feel like that's way too recent. Yay! Judgment Day. Congratulations, you won Best Faction of the Year by default because I don't want to give it to the Bloodline. And the New Hurt Business sucks. They didn't do anything. And Karrion Kross and AOP didn't debut. AEW. Give me Blackpool Combat Club. I love the Blackpool Combat Club. I'm a huge sucker for them. They are so talented. They had a lot of feuds, and sure, while most of them are bloodbaths, they have 4 of the most talented wrestlers in the entire world. Well, Wheeler Yuta's not really that good. We had Claudio as Ring of Honor World Champion. We had Wheeler Yuta as Pure Champion. We had Jon Moxley as an International Champion. And was he World Champion in 2023? No, he wasn't. So he was International Champion. So they all had gold besides Bryan Danielson, and Danielson had some banger matches. So I'm going to give it to Blackpool Combat Club. Why the fuck not? So best faction, WWE goes to the Judgment Day. AEW goes to Blackpool Combat Club. Worst faction, WWE, I'm going to give it to Indus-Share. And that's because they haven't done shit. They don't need to exist. Worst faction, yeah. I got nothing to say about them. I think they might have split up because Jinder Mahal might be going on his own if he is going to be on TV. Worst faction for AEW, I'm going to give it to... what fucking whichever faction... I'm going to give it to whatever Kip Sabian, Butcher, and Blade are called. I forget their fucking name, but it's for the same reason as Indus-Share. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I went up far enough. This has been the 2023 Willy Awards. Thank you guys so much for watching. What are your picks for any of these categories that I mentioned? Leave them down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for an amazing 2023. We are a couple days into 2024. I am aiming for big things on this channel. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to everyone who I've collaborated with. Thank you to everyone for giving me the motivation to do content like this pretty much every single day or every single amount of free time that I have. Thank you guys so much. This has been your boy, Willy Does Wrestling. Until next time, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with post notifications on. This has been your boy, Willy Does Wrestling. I will see you in the next video. Be good, people, and peace.